You know, it's that serious if you decided to permanently tattoo a life lesson on your body. So, we're gonna get real deep and personal about the 5 biggest life lessons I learned in my 20s that led me to living out my dream life today. Let's get into it. So I really believe that you can get to know a person based on the stories and lessons behind their tattoos. And I have 6 tattoos at the moment, and I am about to get really personal and vulnerable about the stories behind my tattoos. But I wanted to create a video to hopefully use my story as an inspiration to whoever may resonate to what I've been through, what I've overcome. All these lessons led me to the dreams that I have today. It led me to being courageous. It led me to trusting myself. It led me to pursuing the dream life I have today. So I hope these life lessons would spark some inspiration and courage in you that your dreams are worth going after. So the first 2 tattoos can represent the first biggest life lesson I learned in my 20s, which is very deeply rooted in my journey to my faith as a Catholic. And that is my tattoo here. That's why I have a cross tattoo right here. The birds are a recent addition this year. And then I also have a Bible verse here that you usually see whenever I talk. It's very seen, which is from the Bible verse Philippians 4:13 that says, "I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me." And this really represents my stronghold of a foundation in Christ as a Catholic. I really believe in a higher being, and that really allowed me to be saved from all of my troubles as I was like 16 to 18, I believe, when I had those tattoos. And it's because as a teenager, I think I still remember 2011, if I'm not mistaken. It was like the most terrible rock bottom year of my life, and it has led me to Christ. It has led me to serving in ministry, going to youth camp, serving in youth camp, being a facilitator there, and waking up at 6 a.m. every Sunday to serve in church. And it was really because I thought that was all I had left. I was like hanging by a thread at 16 or like I think was at that age. And I remember like wanting to just go to church camp, and my parents didn't understand. Like all of a sudden I was like, I was so oof. I'm going to do my best and cut out all of my tears in this part of this video because I didn't expect that I would get so emotional looking back at my teenage years. But I believe this transcended to my 20s because every time I had a hardship or every time I struggled, like I really just went back in my faith, knowing that this was going on for a reason and that I would always have the strength to move past anything, because I felt like I was at my rock bottom, at the bottom of the rock bottom back then anything else I would be able to overcome. And if you search the song related to this verse, I would always cry my eyes out every time I would sing that song in worship, in church. And it's because it has really pulled me out from a dark place that I thought I couldn't get out of. And so I knew that having those tattoos on my body would never be something I regret, because it really symbolizes my resilience and my trust in the Lord that everything would work out, that He would always have the best plans for me no matter what. And the reason why this transcended to my 20s is because now that, you know, especially in my quarter life crisis, as I've always talked about in my channel, when I was in that chapter in my life that I felt like, where the hell am I going? Why did I end up here? I felt so lost. I felt so empty. I felt so dead and like a zombie, going about my life, just earning and earning, but not really thinking about, is this really me living? Am I really living my life to the fullest? And it again grounded me and humbled me in my faith once again, that God put me here for a reason. And I just remembered in leading up to wanting to be a coach, wanting to be a money mindset and life coach, I really believe that everything that I went through was for this reason, is that I also get to help others to get out of their rock bottom, to feel like they're not stuck in a cave, they're not stuck in a dark place. There is a light at the end of the tunnel, and I believe that's the reason why I had to go through all of that. And having that faith in God, in Christ, in the Lord, really humbled me and grounded me, knowing that there is a bigger mission. There is a better plan. He always has the best plans for me. And that's why I actually get quite emotional when I hear testimonials from my clients after our coaching together, when they say like, this program was my answered prayer, Coach Nik was my answered prayer, and this is really God's calling for her, and she helped me realize God's calling for my life. Like, it really is so important to me, because I felt like all of that was for me to be led here, is so that I get to be that person for someone when they feel like there's nowhere else to go to, or no one else to go to, really. And so it was quite hard talking about it here, but I said, you know what, even though I'm ugly crying on the internet, if it would resonate to one person out there, to let you know that there will always be a better plan, it will always work out according to your favor, that it's never rock bottom, there's no way but up when you feel like you're at your bottomest. And I feel like this faith in the Lord, and that's why I had this tattoo, it really led me to my dream life today. Because if I didn't have that faith, I would have given up on a lot of things and just allowed myself to be on autopilot and not really live. But He had better plans for me, and that's why it has naturally led me to be the life coach for my clients today. Because I get how it feels like when you're stuck, when you're lost, when you feel like, when you're so anxious about what's next, what's the direction in your life. And I'm so grateful that I get to be that person for my clients, to let them see that their dreams are also possible, that there is a direction in their life, that I get to hold that flashlight for them and show to them that there are so many other paths that they could take. And I'm grateful that I get to guide them in choosing which path to take that's truly aligned with their version of freedom, to their version of success, their version of happiness. And so now you know. Now you know why I have those tattoos and how important my faith is to me. And so, because I really believe I wouldn't be the coach I am today without my faith. Moving on to the next life lesson, which is related to this tattoo over here, which I recently had. So people think it's like a koi fish, but it's actually salmon. Salmon going up the stream. And the reason behind it is that when I learned about the journey of salmons, apparently they need to go up the stream in order to let the next generation live and survive. And so when I was researching about it, I was like, oh my gosh, this resonates with me so hard, because the life lesson that I learned is that you need to go against the flow to build a new generation. And that really at my core is my vision and mission. When I really think about it, is that what got me to living my version of freedom, living my dream life today, is because I decided to go against the flow. Like, if I decided to just go with the flow and everything, I would have went to some path that turns out wouldn't be for me. And I realized that going against the flow also gave others permission to do the same. And I really believe that it's also paving the way for a better generation to think about themselves, to prioritize themselves, to choose the career that they want, to choose building the business the way they want to prioritize themselves in a way that feels freeing and not guilty. And that's why I really believe that in order to be that change, in order to break the cycle, in order to see a better generation, we need to go against the flow. And it's easier said than done, for sure, because that's literally what I had to do when I had to quit my corporate job, my corporate career, in order to pursue this unconventional path as a money mindset and life coach today. But I really believe that what keeps me going is knowing that what I do creates real impact on people's lives. When I see them build sustainable money habits and have the right systems to fund their next lifestyle milestone, when they get to have that clarity and confidence in their finances, and they trust themselves to make that wise money decisions, and then they get to fund these major life milestones in their life, whether quitting their job, scaling their business, going full-time in their business, or funding their wedding without stress, without going into debt, may it be achieving their first six-figure savings and seeing that amount in their bank account and proving to themselves that they can be empowered to save, that they can be excited to save, that at the same time they can enjoy the fruits of their labor, treat themselves while treating their family, while providing for their family. Like, that is the reason why it was so worth it that I had to go against the flow. And I put this tattoo on my 2-year anniversary as full-time in my coaching business as a coach and content creator, because I felt like I had to already put a permanent reminder of this milestone, because this career path that I took, this business that I have built to 7 figures, is still the craziest thing and most fulfilling thing I had ever done. And so if you are also in that journey of wanting to be mentally and financially prepared to fund your dream career or fund your dream life into reality, fund your next lifestyle milestone with clarity and confidence, you need to go against the flow. You need to do something that no one else has ever done, or no one in your circle, in your family has ever done. Because I tell you, you are going to be misunderstood when you want something else that society doesn't expect you to do, doesn't expect you to pursue. And I always look back at like, what would have happened if I didn't do this? What would have happened if I just decided to just go with the flow, swim with the flow, and allow the flow of the water to take me to the next level in my corporate career, or to just use my money impulsively, continuously? What would have happened to me then? Where would I have ended up in? And I guess that's the thing, right? The analogy is like, if you just allow the river to dictate the flow for you, you might end up in a place where you realize like, this is not where I wanted to be, but you've already wasted so much time getting there. Versus like, you still have time now to go against the flow and really pause and think about like, what if there is another path? What if there's another direction I want to go to? Because I think about like, if I didn't choose this path, I wouldn't have met the wonderful clients I met. I wouldn't have created that impact on their lives. Their lives would have been so different as well. And so you also need to have a bigger mission and vision for your life on why you're going to decide to do things that are unconventional, that may not be understood by others. Because I always talk about that I am willing to be misunderstood if the right people will feel heard and understood. And that's really what this lesson is all about. It's like really focusing on living a purpose-filled life, knowing that what I do is creating that ripple effect on my clients' lives. Like, I think in the previous client interview I had, my client said that from an impulsive buyer, now she's like a life and mindset coach to her friends, to her husband, to her family. Like, I really love that, because now I get to pass this on. Like, now my clients get to be that mentor, that coach, the people around them. And that's really the bigger mission that I have as a coach in my programs, is that it doesn't stop with me. It goes forward and it creates a different flow. It creates a new generation who breaks cycles, who breaks generational trauma, and creates a new legacy that they can pass on to the next generation. By the way, if you are curious on how you can work with me in funding your next lifestyle milestone with clarity and confidence, you can check the link below on my website on how you can join my coaching program, Fund Your Freedom. You will get 2 months of weekly one-on-one coaching with me with a tailor-fit roadmap, and then it will be followed by 3 months of community support. So in that journey, you will break the cycle of financial overwhelm, money anxiety, build sustainable money habits and systems, and ultimately have the confidence that you can fund your next lifestyle milestones into reality with one income stream at a time. You can read the testimonials from my client below or watch this playlist of my client interviews, their success stories, so you can get really inspired of what's possible for you as well when we work together this year. Third biggest life lesson in my 20s is connected to this tattoo. Oh, ay, hindi siya cute. Ayan, this one. This tattoo over here. So this is actually sparks. Sparks. Okay. So that initially represents like choose only what sparks joy, because when I got that tattoo, I was in my journey of really be so intentional about the things I buy, being so intentional about where I put my money, time, and resources towards. But now that I have really honed my own financial philosophy when it comes to being what it really means to be intentional, now the life lesson from that tattoo turned into put your money where your values are. Because I realized like choose only what sparks joy, it's kind of like a very vague thing. Like, how do I know if you spark joy in my life? And so when I really dug deep into it and how I coach my clients, it's really putting your money where your values are. And your values really mean like, how does it really look like for you to have freedom, to have true happiness, to have real contentment, to have lasting joy in your life? That's why I love it when my clients tell me that I have a tangible financial system that is aligned with my values and not the expectations of society. Like, I eat that up so much because that's what I'm all about, is that you get to align your money decisions, your intentions around money in line with your values, in line with your bigger vision and mission for your life. And that way, money doesn't become this evil thing, but money actually becomes a tool for you to live your best life. And at the same time, you get to make an impact to others because they see you as an example of living your best life. And knowing your values is also understanding like, how does your version of financial freedom looks like? How does your version of financial success look like? How does true happiness and security look like for you? And this is something that I am so passionate that I get to dig deep with my clients, because oftentimes we create goals or we create money goals. We spend our money based on expectations of society, based on a certain age that we're supposed to save that amount, we're supposed to invest that amount, or we're supposed to follow these strict budgeting rules in order to save faster. We should know how to sacrifice and delay gratification. Like, it's very, very disciplinarian. That's a very good word that my clients said. Usually, your budgeting system, how you spend your money, how you allocate your money is not sustainable because it's very disciplinarian. And you know what happens when we live in a disciplinarian and strict household? It's like you feel so restricted, and it's just a matter of time where you're going to explode and pop and do the complete opposite. And you know what that means when it comes to your money? Like, you become impulsive, you become resentful with how you spend and how you treat yourself. You say, deserve ko to, so bibilin ko na to ngayon, and all of that. Like, there has to be a more balanced and sustainable way of using money, spending money, saving money, investing money. And that ultimately why I really believe in this life lesson, which is put your money where your values are, because that's going to be a no-brainer. But what's important is that you do really embody, understand what your values are, because, growing up, we've been easily influenced and dictated what we should want, what we shouldn't want, what we should spend on, what we should invest in. And that's why I love holding that safe space for my clients to really vocalize what they really want, what their success really looks like on their terms. How does it look like if they decide on their own and not based on resentment, not based on spite from others, from their parents, from what has been told to them, you know. And so that's why I love that I get to create that balance for my clients where they get to dream again. They get to really visualize what their version of success is that is aligned to their values, and at the same time create a practical, tangible financial system that would allow them to fast track their version of success, their version of financial freedom. That's why I really believe that we need to get crystal clear first on what we truly value as success, as freedom, as real contentment, and then from there craft the money goals that would be aligned to those values. So create money targets, savings targets, income targets aligned with the dream life that we really want to fund. And that way, money doesn't control us. Rather, we are in control of money. We are using money as a tool to fund the lifestyle that we really want. You can watch this interview with my client who shared exactly that when she got crystal clear on what she truly values, what her values are, that's when she realized, oh my gosh, that's why I've been using money wrong. It's because I wasn't clear on my values, that I've actually been spending money in contrast, in the opposite of those values. So when we got crystal clear on that, when she got firm on that and embraced those values and what her version of success is, that's when she got excited to save. That's when she was able to stop impulsively buying. That's when she finally built sustainable money habits. So watch that video, you're gonna inspired as well. Next tattoo is the one I have here. Okay, so this is actually an arrow that I drew myself. So I remember like saving a lot of pegs on my phone back then and wanting to create a symbol of an arrow myself. So I drew this and then showed it to the tattoo artist, and then here it is. So I remember when people would ask me like, so what does that mean? And it can be summed up into this life lesson and statement, which is that anything that pulls you back only propels you forward. And just think of an arrow, like the more you pull it back, the more you stretch back, like the more it's going to go higher, the more it's gonna reach greater heights, the more it's gonna go farther, right? And that's really a symbolism of a lot of things that held me back in my life, that got me to the success I have today. Like a lot of failures, like I failed my college entrance exam in like one of the top 4 schools in the country, okay, and I was so devastated, like, am I that stupid? Okay, I remember in college, and that led me to a better college opportunity that allowed me to excel, to be in student council, to be in the dean's list and all of that. And so I remember that like, oh, if something pulls me back, if something fails me, it was just to prepare me for a better plan, for a redirection in my life. So that's one thing. And then of course, when it comes to relationships, I've had failed relationships, both friends who have backstabbed me, friends who I thought I could trust, and those people that held me back only brought me to the person I am today, who is strong, resilient, who knows her boundaries, who knows the people that she can now trust, and the quality of people that I want to be in my circle. I think that also led me to caring less about what people would say about me and not letting judgments get a hold of me anymore. And I think that also that trait of mine allowed me to start my business, even though a lot of my past colleagues or a lot of my friends back then were so confused, like looking at me like I was a crazy person, like, what, you're just going to do YouTube? What, you're going to start a business at 25 years old? You know, like all of those things may have hurt a bit, but then it didn't stop me. And I guess that's the huge life lesson I got from that anyone that would hold me back or pull me back, they're just preparing me to achieve better things, to climb greater heights. And every time I go through an obstacle, a struggle, now I'm like, I look back and I just look at that tattoo and remind myself like I have gone through so much that like nothing else is going to hinder me now. Nothing else is gonna stop me now. And it's just always a great reminder and proof to myself that I go back to my proof of success, that a lot of things held me back, but I've always come out stronger and better and more resilient. Oh yeah, and then besides like toxic friendships, I also had like toxic boyfriends before, and truly that pulled me back for the worst, but it also prepared me to meet my husband today in the best way possible, knowing that my husband has the non-negotiables that I've always looked for. And so now that I think of it, those problems before that really pulled me down, that seemed like mountains, turned out to be something I could actually climb and get into the top of, and claim my victory and know that I can always achieve my version of success. I can always replicate my success. And that's also something that I always carry with me, that I can always achieve anything I set my mind to. Like, imagine from like a probationary high school student to going into college and becoming like top of my class like crazy, and then in corporate, from like being such a people pleaser fresh grad to being a slave of money in corporate and being such a people pleaser to the people around me, to now starting my own business where I get to set my own boundaries, where I get to work with the clients that I really want to work with and excited to work with. Like, all those struggles, obstacles, mountains only prepared me to climb greater heights. And the fifth life lesson is connected to this tattoo here. So I recently added those birds recently to the cross, and it really represents my huge trust in God as my business partner. So the moment that it clicked in my head that God is my business partner, I just literally became unstoppable, knowing that God has already assigned the people I meant to work with. God has already put me in this place to bless the people that I'm meant to bless, because I am blessed in my life. I believe that if I'm blessed, I get to bless more people. I believe that when I get to prioritize my dreams and goals, others can see that they can give themselves permission to do the same. That I trust that God will bring in the opportunities that I'm meant to grab. I believe that there is limitless abundance. I believe that it's unbounded. I believe that the things that are meant to me will fall into me because I trust in a God who has like an infinity pool of blessings. And I'll tell you, that's my biggest empowering belief to this day, that allowed me to start my coaching business, and then 2 years later have a 7-figure coaching business and have my first million net worth. That's the reason why I was able to go through all of that, is because I trusted in God as my business partner with His perfect timing for me, with His best plans and His limitless abundance. And I'll always hold on to that in every step of my business, in every level up as a business owner, as a coach, knowing that things will always be uncertain. The future will always be uncertain. I have no idea what the hell is gonna happen. I have no idea what could happen 5 years from now, but one thing is for sure, I trust in Him to have the best plans, and it will come to me at His perfect time. And this is something that I love guiding my clients with, in creating their own empowering beliefs. Like, I have a client who said, I have like an abundance recipe, I have an abundance plan now, because she has created the belief that she really stand by with and stay firm with. Because as I always say, it's normal for you to feel anxious from time to time. It's normal for you to have negative emotions, for you to feel the feelings that are not the best. But what's important is that you will be reminded and comforted that you have empowering beliefs that you can always go back to, and you have your proof of success reminding you that you are capable, you are resourceful, you are good enough, that you deserve to fund your bigger dreams in life. And that's why it's important to me, like when I got trained as a life coach, is really understanding how beliefs are instilled, how they are formed, how you can create new empowering beliefs so that it would create your desired reality. Because your reality is not affected just by your actions. Your actions are affected by your thoughts and your beliefs. And so imagine, when I believe that God is my business partner, I took action in starting my business. I put aside all of the judgment by others and focused on the people I meant to serve. Like, that's why your beliefs are so powerful. And so it's so important for me that I get to guide my clients in understanding the beliefs that are not serving them, and at the same time reframe those beliefs into something more empowering, something that would encourage and motivate them to take action that would fund their dreams to reality. So again, if you want to learn more on how I can coach you in funding your next lifestyle milestone with the right habits and systems with your money, then check the link in my bio on my coaching program, Fund Your Freedom. You can check all the testimonials and inclusions there when you join my coaching program before 2023 ends, because my last batch for 2023 is October and the enrollment is open, and then my next batch would be 2024 na. And if you want to learn more lessons that I learned from quitting my corporate job to now becoming a business owner, check this video and I'll see you there.